Coach Chris Oliver, putting on the headset now as we visit with him. Coach, you have absolutely spoiled Bob and I to the point where we thought, you know what, this was a very solid win. We played well. You look at the stats are very impressive. It just seemed like we weren't exactly in rhythm throughout the entire part of the game. Thought it was a great start, and then we kind of lost our rhythm. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think I've spoiled you. I think our program and our previous teams have spoiled us all. And that's a good lesson for us. I think, first of all, we went 1-0 today.
That's right.
We won by, a relatively large margin. We did have a late score there that, we kind of tacked it on there a little bit late. I thought we did a lot of good things, a lot of similarities to last week in some ways. Defensively, I wanted to congratulate those guys right away when we talked. Said, hey, defense gave up 13 points. 2 of them were on a blocked extra point. Defense gave up 13 and scored 7 themselves. So defensively we gave up some big plays, a couple just errors again and some technique things, but there's still a lot of positives. Offense looked very similar to last week. We had some really, really good moments. We had some moments there in the second half where we just looked very inconsistent. Some of our finish, and I don't think we were in great game shape yet to where I'd like us to be at this point. And, that's ultimately my responsibility. I got to help us get there. Our coaches have to help us get there. Right now we're playing like we're practicing. We don't have a lot of outstanding practices, and we don't have a lot of poor practices. We have good to above average practices is kind of where we're at right now with this team, which that's a lot better than having bad practices.
Right.
But it's tough to play in a great fashion consistently when you don't practice in a great manner. We practice good to above average. So, we have to turn it up a notch. Our coaches have to help us get there. Our players got to respond. I'm encouraged by what we have the ability to do. But we still have a long way to go with this team, and I'm looking forward to getting there.
Lindsey Wilson wins it 44-15 this afternoon. Coaches say a lot that your most improvement comes from week 1 to week 2. We've talked about this in the past. Did you see a lot of improvement from week 1 to week 2?
I thought defensively, at first glance, without watching the video yet, I thought it felt like it was a lot better on defense. I thought we tackled better. There was one really bad missed tackle on their sideline that we turned a loss of 2 into probably a gain of 4 or 5 that sticks out. But I thought overall we tackled pretty well today. We got after their quarterback. He was hurting at the end of the game. We were confusing their offensive line. I thought we were doing a great job with some of our stunts and blitzes, and we were putting them in a tough spot. So I thought defensively it felt like the immediate feeling right now is that we did take a step forward. Offensively, there was a lot of positives. I don't know if it was significantly better than a week ago. And special teams wise, again, sort of hit and miss. And they did some things schematic wise that we weren't exactly prepared for. We had to adjust on the fly. I thought our kids did rather well adjusting on the fly, but attention to detail and finish isn't where we need it to be, and we'll get there.
1 of 10 on third down today, so I know you'll take that every week that your defense got off the field on third down. The other thing that was really impressive was your start on defense. Last week you gave up the score. This week back-to-back 3 and outs, and really just kind of got us off to that quick start in your offense built on that defensive stance.
Yeah, for sure. It was a great start to us and what we're doing, and we're just feeding off each other to start the game. Lost a little bit of that momentum in the second quarter, and I think our offense could have helped out our defense a little bit more. That's when we had our first punt, and then we stalled out a little bit in a 2-minute drive. We just didn't finish the way that we wanted, not as well as we would have liked there, but I think you're right. The defensive start was a step forward.
Is that just a maturity thing? Because it looked like you guys took the foot off the gas just a little bit. Is that a maturity thing?
Yeah, I think so. We are all of a sudden getting up and on people, and again, same thing we did a week ago. We're just not finishing. But we have enough upperclassmen. We have enough guys who understand the expectation, who understand what this conference is like and what some of our future opponents are going to be like, where that shouldn't be an issue, but right now it is. And we as coaches, I as the head coach, we got to find a way to get that fixed, and we got to get through the guys, and we got to continue to play better. Coaches, we're never happy, we're kind of miserable people, but that's something that if we don't get that fixed, that's going to come back, and that will come to get us, and we have got to get our head around that.
261 yards on the ground today offensively, and it looked like Ave was really did a good job of just in between the tackles. They were absolutely clogging the middle. Jalen Boyd got outside a couple times.
Yeah.
You talked about how special you thought he could be, and he showed a burst of speed 2 or 3 different times.
Sure.
But it seemed like outside on the edges where we had most of our big runs.
Yeah, they did some things defensively. We talked about it in the pregame. They were not going to line up defensively over and over the same way very much. They were going to give you different looks, different stunts, different blitzes. So there were some times where we tried to come back to some of those plays, and then we wouldn't have success with it. And the biggest thing is sustaining blocks and just finishing blocks. They did want to commit the safeties down, and we ended up getting the flash fake play action touchdown to Cam White's there over top of a safety that stepped down on the run on that play. And that was something we took advantage of with them. And we just consistently get those blocks and finish up front. I think that number could have been a lot bigger, but again, you get 250 passing yards, 260 rushing yards. So good day balance wise, and we had a lot of yards, a lot of success. But I thought Ave did a good job of mixing it up and keeping us off balance with not being able to consistently just come back to the same plays over and over again, even though we did have a lot of yards on the day.
Lindsey Wilson wins it by a score of 44-15 to do exactly what the Blue Raiders want to do every week, go 1-0. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks.
That's LWC.